Oh, welcome everyone to the 295th weekly MLP Drawing School live critique stream. It's October 26th, surprisingly, somehow. It's almost the spooky season. Spooky day.
What are you talking about? It's been spooky season for ages.
Oh my
I'm
god.
not ready. I'm not ready for it to be spooky time.
Is that because you bought the Halloween candy, ate all the Halloween candy, and now you need to restock?
Okay,
that's
I didn't
my
expect
case.
this to get so real. I tried to call me out.
For me, it's because I'm trying to finish a Halloween T-shirt design still. But
the internet half of me wants to be like, hey, heck yeah, spooky, and the Australian half of me wants to complain about the Yanks for spooky. But it's good. Spooky month.
Listen,
And costumes, what's not to
what did-
like? I
what
don't
did they
understand
I-
the hate.
I know it's just the Australian nature within me. Because
Okay.
ever since I've grown up, anytime Halloween's come about, 80% of the people in my life have gone fucking Yanks, but I'm like, no, but
Why?
it's because we don't like Americans. Well, we
What's-
we don't like doing things which seem American because
That's
that's
fair.
But
I
that's
don't
a
know.
general thing.
I remember
just very
conversations in the
unfortunate,
past where people are like, nobody celebrates Halloween over in Europe. And I'm just like, but
Yeah.
We do.
100% vex. Americans derogatory. Yeah, it's all right. We
Anyway.
like yous. It's just Australian nature.
I get it. I get it.
yeah. Well, I mean, with that, you can hear the small horde of people here. We got Fluffy Pixie Claw.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
With the side of Living Dead. Does that mean we're all living dead today? Because they're like fluffy pixie claw dead living?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question mark?
I mean, we can all pretend to be a zombie for a day.
Yeah.
Pixie Fluffy Claw also sounds like an actual fantasy character name, and I love it.
I want it to be like a weapon, the pixie fluffy claw.
Yeah.
So it's a claw that leaves glitter?
Oh.
Yeah, and the handle is fuzzy.
I think that's just Alley Claw.
Oh no, my true identity.
That's because she once opened a package of glitter in her house and now it won't ever leave.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
Goodbye,
true.
house. The only solution is to burn it.
The problem is, it might be on her clothes. It might transfer.
Yeah, no,
it might even
exactly.
be on
The
her.
glitter will follow you for the rest of your life. There's no getting away from it.
Have
I
you
know.
seen her hair? There's no way you're ever going to manage to get glitter out of that.
It's just a black
Yeah.
hole. It just stores it in there for when I need it most.
That's your
least.
superpower.
Or least.
Yeah, or least. Yeah, no other alternatives.
All right. Well, let's hop to our art. We got one submitted here by Refined Wolf 10, My Little Pony, and Star Set Tribute number 2, Lightning Dust.
Hell yeah.
In this post, I bring you the second part of My Little Pony and Star Set Tribute. The pony of choice this time is Lightning Dust. Part 3 will be posted soon. If you do, thanks for checking out the post and or replying.
What
My
is
brush is big.
that tribute?
Well, it's just
Why is
tribute.
my brush? I'm not sure why my brush is so fuzzy. Okay.
Are you logged in? Like, is your settings good?
I am. Strange.
Oh.
Aggie, what are you doing? It's all good. We fixed it. I think this is a good horse.
He's a cutie.
Yeah.
I like the
The
pants.
neck? The neck gets a little bit short compared to the width of the body and all that stuff. But you can probably solve that by doing something along these lines. Having the this neck thing sort of go down something like that ish, kind of, sort of, and all that kind of sort of thing. Yeah, something roughly like that.
I'm not quite clear what these are. There's a line here, then a line that goes up over here like this, in the purple.
Mm. Like I'd expect you've got these like
Pants?
pants kinds of sorts of things, but I'd expect that to be like down here.
Hmm. This does look like a traditional picture scanned into grayscale, which is a great way to do it. Because that means
Hmm.
it picks up the most amount of contrast from your lines. It's nice darkness.
Maybe it's like a half leg thing. It's like a like something like that. Like for this piece is all material, and then it's just like flaps over in the end. I don't know, but something
Not,
good to look at.
yeah,
Uh,
not totally clear. I would definitely fix that up. I would also round out them hooves.
mm.
Unless if she's formed ice skates as her feet, which would be really cool for winter. Those hoovesies are round. They're depending on which generation you're going for. If you're going for that G4 look, they are just balls. Uh, G5 has them more of like pointed at the front when they form back because they got their lovely little hearts, which are reversed for whatever reason. I guess.
Yeah, that annoys me so much. Oh my god. I get the point of it, but it just makes them look like toys.
Yeah. Little lovely
Like
hearts.
a bit too much. But like it, yeah, I've talked about this last time, but it works so well in the G4 movie because it actually looks like a hoof shape.
I think it's cute.
Also, don't forget the other
Uh,
ear. It's the thing. It's important.
yeah, but the second year. I was going to mention the wing connection point can be useful. I like having just like a little bit of like something there to be like, here's where the wing connects to the body, that sort of thing. But no stress. You can
Trying to
see an
draw.
amazing artist drawing a horse over here.
I'm trying to draw in a more G4 style. I'm not totally comfortable with that style, but it seems that's more what your facial structure is leaning towards. But the main thing I wanted to point out is uh let me just fix the nose a bit more. The goggles here. They can come off the face a little bit. I know the G4 style is a little flatter with how they add accessories and stuff to the face itself, but right now, this line, you have a tangent going on with just the goggles bleeding into the face itself. And the other little thing about goggles is there's a inner glass part, as well as the glass, like the rim itself. They're a little thicker. That's the reason why, like, if you're gonna cartoonify glasses, you can kind of get away with the simple circle with a nose bridge. But if you want it to get a more goggle feel, you really need the thick rims to hold the glass into place there and really hold it tight to the head. So just a small detail to add to remember to think about.
You can see my bad attempt over here on the face.
No, it's really good. It really gets that 3D perspective, even in like a flat 2D thing. It's nice to have that little extra bit of 3D to separate it from the face.
The best way to go about this is to look at references.
Ooh, hell yeah.
And references of real people wearing real glasses, but also references of how they tend to be portrayed and drawn in other cartoons and other animated media and all that sort of stuff. Seeing how other artists simplify goggles will help you draw yours, because that might be a good way to draw it. You might be able to get away with doing something like this and then only having like a couple of lines depending on the angles or some weird stuff or like whatever. Just look at references and you can figure out good ways to draw things.
Mm.
I like doing a little bit more with the inner ear, but that's just me. No stress.
Shall we move on to our next horse?
Yeah,
Mhm.
good drawing. Submit more stuff to us in future.
But wait, our next one isn't a horse.
I mean, it's still a horse in spirit.
Sort of. Yeah, in spirit.
All right. Our next one is by Soy Sprout. Did I turn myself into a Kieran? Yes. Am I ashamed? No. I got
No
no
reason to
questions.
be.
Maze is just like
So,
dropping all sorts of references here. Yeah, find those references.
so this Kieran has poor eyesight, so we can't really judge the drawing quality too much. Because I don't know. I think this whole like all of this is really cool. We saw this and we were just like, ooh, fun, and cool color like gradient from like this deepish red to the more like orangey stuff. It's really cool. Did they have any like questions or things that they wanted to focus on or anything like that?
No.
Hmm.
Soy, I would like to point out, your horse is going to topple over here.
Oh
S-
yeah.
Both the same feet up. That is half of their balance there.
So if we're drawing them from the front, this is them, their hair, their body. Boom. They're going to fall over. Whenever you're thinking about posing with horses and that sort of stuff, what I like doing is I like thinking about the opposite hooves.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if this hoof is up, the front right hoof, back left hoof can be up as well. If this one is flat on the ground, this one should probably also be flat on the ground, and that kind of thing.
As Maze
One of
point. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to mention one of the other things is that this hoof is extended fully. This hoof is pretty much extended fully, but they fall at different points on the ground. This one's a fair bit lower than that one, and that sort of stuff. It's probably just something to keep a bit of an eye on. And if you're gonna like go for them being at different points on the ground and all that sort of thing, you're probably gonna need to like have one more extended than the other, or have a bit of a higher step here that's like shown in the background or something weird like that. You can see how someone's pulled the shoulder back and all that kind of sort of stuff.
I would just add a little bit of the chest here. You've made that leg stick forward quite a bit, and with the way they're turned, generally the shoulder sticks back a bit more. So I've just moved it back and given us a bit of the chest. This gives you more chance to put more fluff on there, which is always an important part of these things.
Mm. If you want to have this this shoulder be like that forward, what you'll see is, so if I'm like taking this pose and then drawing it from the top, what you'd see is something along these lines where like here's like the back, the hips, and here's like the thing, and that's why this shoulder would be so forward. And so this shoulder would probably be like even further back, so this leg would probably even come further back, and then this I don't know what this is called, the mane, the lion's
Mane.
whatever. Yeah. So this front bit is where it all comes down to, and you have the center line of the body coming up through there, coming up through there. If this shoulder is this far forward, this point would be around the other side of the body as well, and yeah, probably have something a bit more like that, and a little bit more of a twist of the between the neck and the head and that sort of stuff. But no stress. It'd be cool to see some more like weird, interesting, strange, dynamic poses, like jumping like this or like that. You know, it can be fun to just put on YouTube and then search for dogs doing cute things or cats doing cute things, and then just pausing it now and then and seeing what interesting poses the dogs or cats or whatever can get into. Are you all good, LD? I noticed you rejoined.
Yeah, it
Okay.
disconnected for a moment for whatever reason.
All good. Wanted to make sure that Discord didn't mess up or whatever.
Good luck using that as a pose maze, but I'm really interested to see what comes up with it.
Yeah, done.
No.
Experts only. It's like those the accurate angel pictures.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
Like,
yeah.
the 6 different things all coming in together. Brilliant.
All right, let's move on to our next horse.
Yeah, good horse. Keep
Mhm.
on drawing.
I'm gonna jump out because my head feels poopy.
Oh no.
See you
Feel
guys
better.
later.
Grab
ya,
a
Fluffy.
plushie or 12.
Yes, exactly.
All
Fluffy's a
right,
good horse.
we have a horse person. And this is by the Dark Malcontent. Equestrian City, Sunset Shimmer Creating Gadgets. Hello, all. Main account here. Just submitting a final version I worked on a bit. On her downtime, Sunset tried to make a better ranged gadget when she doesn't use it for firepower. And thanks everyone in the group who helped me refine.
Yeah.
Got a lot of hair.
That's a lot of hair.
That's a lot of hair.
That's a bunch of heap of hair.
So the reason I say that is because your head that you formed up here, right? We got. Oh, that's too small. Let me try that again. Oh my god. Okay. Here, we'll stand. We'll actually do this. There we
I
go.
believe in you.
That's a head. All right. So your head's like that, right? Based off your chin, your ears, and that. Maybe slightly further back, but that means your hair is the same width as your head, which is dang. That's a lot of conditioner. I know MLP the like hair is a wild and untamed thing. I would just deflate it slightly and bring it back. The Maze is correct. Some people do have crazy hair like that. But personally, I still would bring it back. If you feel that's wrong, by all means, don't listen. That is what you are allowed to do here.
Yeah.
But I would shrink that stuff down, bring it closer to the head. You can still do some wild and crazy curves, but I would also make sure that some of her hair matches what gravity's doing, because right now it's starched a little heavily and is flowing against gravity. It's like going down her back, which a fair amount of it would, but you would also end up with some, curling down the front of her and quite a bit curling down the other shoulder.
The really cool thing here is this area, because what you can do is you can completely for free and completely in gravity have like all sorts of weird like random little curls and stuff here. Do weird stuff. Fun. Hair is weird and strange and fun. And Len should be here because he's
They
really
do
good
that
at
good
hair.
hair.
Yeah. So I did a bit of redlining on this in the channel and all that kind of sort of stuff, and definitely improved. I'd probably foreshorten this knee even more. Like let me pick a picture. Let me pick a color here. Like something like that. just because the length of this and the length of that thigh are gonna, yeah. So you could definitely foreshorten that a little bit more even. And good job on that foot. It's weird, but good angle.
Oh
I like
yeah,
that.
the toes are really nice.
Mm.
I believe
Yeah.
they're called toesies.
Yep. How
The
bad?
tootsies. That's the technical term.
And I just want a Tootsie Roll.
I will say one of the most annoying bits, especially for like sitting poses and trying to work out all that, is this area right here. Especially like around the sort of all of these folds and all that kind of sort of stuff, like figuring out how the pelvis, like, you know, and the pants and all that sort of stuff all go together. It's probably one of my most hated areas because it's so weird and precise and strange and all that kind of sort of stuff. So as you're like sketching and as you're like, you know, looking at real models and, you know, references and all that kind of sort of stuff, it could be a good idea to focus on that area a little bit and try to, like, you know, figure out how the belly and the hips connect together and all that kind of sort of weird stuff, because it's a particularly difficult area with a lot of like interesting strange shapes, and it could definitely help improve probably the rest of your picture as well, because it's a complicated place to like study.
Hmm.
And goodbye, Vex. I know
They probably still had a work call.
all of our lovely artist friends are disappearing. What the heck?
No.
But they made such a beautiful drawing.
They did. They did. Maybe they made that and then they got reaped by the
The whirlwind.
whirlwind. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our next lovely horse.
Woohoo!
Heck yeah. Oh my gosh. What a
Yes,
horse.
Borgin. Buddy.
Knocking it out of the park with them big paintings. All claps.
Nice environment and stuff.
Their comment is, now I'm thinking I could add some sun rays and dust. What else can I improve on this?
So I was bad, and while everyone else was doing such amazing work, I snuck over to do some painting on this. And I just was playing with your face a little bit. I was trying to keep your head structure, but I did make a few tweaks. And it's really not important to see me do it because it's a lot of fiddling and strokes you probably wouldn't even notice. But at the
Mm.
end, these are the changes I made. And the reasons I made these changes in particular is one, I kind of shaped the face a little bit more in the muzzle area. The new style does have it feel a little more flush to the face. Everything's really smooth and curved into the cheeks and out to the muzzle. But that doesn't mean we still won't have some sort of shadows being dropped to really show that 3D form. The issue here is we don't have enough to show that the muzzle's coming out from the face, so I just kind of give it a little more structure to show that. I assumed the light was mainly coming from the reflection in the tablecloth as well as from the window. So that's just kind of what I went for lighting wise. The second thing I changed was the eyebrow positioning. To kind of make it a little more somber, I brought down the eyebrows to kind of be more thoughtful rather than up. Because usually when eyebrows are up, it's very like there's like a thought happening. There's a an excitement of some kind. So bringing them down kind of gives the somber, like, oh, I'm thinking about my dad. You know, it really brings the sad scene. But you can still have the third thing, which I changed, which was your smile. To like have that somber moment, but still be sweet and sincere. I made it a bit smaller, but still just a slight bit of happy upturn there at the end. The problem with the very large smile here is you kind of get that the closest we talked about was it comes off more like that meme face of that sad cat. Like it feels very like jokish, where like a person wouldn't really have that large of a smile, kind of with this kind of look. So just to kind of like bring it all in a bit to have a more subtle but somber look. Because you said this is supposed to be a sad painting. And it feels like a very somber scene. She's, at the breakfast table with her father. So we thought, well, I thought, just bring it in a little bit, make it a little smaller, give it a little. She's happy to see her father, but she's also sad and struggling with it, kind of vibe. And of course, as always, like, feel free to throw any of this out, but that would be my suggestion to work on the face there with that, just the expression and overall form, 3D form. That's my rant.
Yeah, I'm just messing with this little table and this sort of lamp kind of sort of thing. It's weird. It's weird how like circles and ellipses and all that sort of stuff get affected by the vanishing point and all that kind of sort of thing. I don't know. I feel like there needs to be like a bit more of like a something worked out there. I don't know. Maybe messing about with like the kind of drawer box sort of like circle drawing stuff or ellipse drawing in perspective could be interesting and helpful and all that kind of sort of stuff in terms of doing these sorts of things in future. Getting them to look a little bit more on point or something like that. I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I was just I'm just reading what sort of Maze was saying and all that. I think I just messed about with like how curved the top and bottom were, and I think that helped a whole lot. But yeah, all good. This I don't know if is that something that you drew over, Ali?
The face?
purple
No, I
box?
didn't drew. I did not. I only touched the face.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
cool.
I did the box just a moment ago. I wanted to stick a Twiggly's
Oh,
cutie mark
did
on
you
it.
just draw that, or did you
Yeah,
also draw
I
the?
just drew that. I
Oh,
didn't
okay,
draw anything else. Just a star.
the texture doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the scene and all that kind of sort of stuff. It's a small thing, but yeah, especially like for a scene as detailed as this, even small things like that can sort of pull the viewer out. Small things about texture not aligning up and all that kind of sort of thing. In general, good. I like it. Good job on the hair. The hair is strange and cool and weird, and I like it. When you're drawing the muzzle from this sort of an angle, keep in mind that the top line there is very, very foreshortened. So, like, say you've got the face here, boom, 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 blah, blah, all that sort of stuff. Hey, it's a cool horse. Yeah, let's go. This line in particular is going to be so foreshortened. So that's going to be like a point that you're going to need to mess with a bit to get it to look right, because because we're basically sitting like on this point. Well, the vanishing point's like down here, so we'd sort of expect to, even with the muzzle coming out, maybe even to like have like a bit of like a harsh line there or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, that's something to mess with. That's something that's really difficult to get. So no stress. Good picture though. I like it. Hard to convey the sort of delicate emotions I've ever sort of seen like this. Lots of like exploring and messing about needed and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
Lovely pictures. Keep it up, bud.
Yeah. Keep on
Love to
drawing.
see you
Keep
pushing
doing good
yourself.
stuff. Exactly, yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next one. And Soldier Point, If you're going to dethrone me, that means you have to pick up all the critique. And I am A-okay with that. All right, the last picture submitted this week that hasn't been critiqued is Supermarine Spitfires. It's Inktober, Ponytober, Day 25 Splat Origin Story. They asked some questions on this. I can boil this down to 3 questions. I want to move away from the G4 style that depicts pony muzzles when you're looking at them head on or close to head on. Would my approach be a good start? And number 2, how do I translate 3D hair or anything similar into a 2D form? This will be vital when I want to take inspiration from G5 series to come. And 3, how do I incorporate more creative takes on a prompt?
In terms of hair and like translating 2D, 3D shapes into 2D forms and all that kind of sort of stuff, what you'll probably need to focus on is overall shapes. So, for example, let's go with Pip's hair here. You know, you've got this, from this sort of an angle, you've got this like sort of a shape. And then it like curls over itself in this kind of sort of way, you know. And in here is probably going to be like shadow or something like that. You're going to need to like simplify it down to the point where it's easy to draw and it's very, very readable. It's like, you know, no one could possibly mistake this for another pony or another horse. It's pretty similar to like what you do with G4 and like G4 characters and all that sort of stuff. It's just that they tend to have that simplified form much more like, you know, ready to go, already drawn in 2D, all that kind of sort of stuff. It's like, you know, for Twilight, you know, Twilight horse, heck yeah. Twilight's hair, let me draw it in blue. So, you know, something like that. Or at least that's how I draw it. That's my version of Twilight's hair. So, you know, this is no doubt Twilight's hair. Nobody could mistake this hair for, you know, someone else's hair. And then if you're drawing Twilight from the front, say something like this, you've got some roughly, you know, kind of sort of like this. It's that same sort of, this is a simplified, you know, easy to draw, unmistakable form of Twilight's hair. And nobody could really mistake this for anyone else's hair. And what you need to do is you need to try to come up with these sorts of shapes in your style for G5 by, you know, maybe like if you want to draw Pip and get to know how her hair works and all that sort of stuff, get a piece of paper and just, you know, draw a bunch of Pip heads and a bunch of, you know, Pip's hair on top. You know, the base doesn't need to be anything complicated. It can just be like, you know, boom, ear, boom. And then on top of that, you know, you can mess about and you can draw like a bunch of these on your page and then try like, you know, drawing a hair in different ways on each one and then see which sort of shapes work for you and are readable and all that kind of sort of stuff. And, you know, get to a point like with G4 characters where you've got these sort of, you know, basic shapes that you can sort of rely on to get things down quickly and easily. Something that's also really good for this sort of stuff is looking at storyboard artists and how they draw things. There's been a few storyboard artists releasing their G5 things, you know, just in random places online. And one of the really cool things is G5 characters, is the storyboard artists need to draw these characters very quickly and in a very readable way. So they've done a lot of this sort of simplification for you already. So, you know, I like to look at them and steal their simplifications and all that stuff. It means I have less work to do. But yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Inspiration, or how do I incorporate more creative takes on a prompt? Oh, that's hard. That's wonderfully hard. There's some practices you can do. Basically, there's what's things like D&D and that type of thing, role-playing games. They're very good for helping you creatively come up with answers to problems that might not be based in reality. And that's what a lot of art is. It's creatively coming up with answers to problems that aren't exactly based in reality. For instance, horses. It's games like that can be very useful. Personally, I find doing not prompts, but requests from other people, and not quite requests. More of I just take I ask one person for their OC and then another person to come up with a situation they're in. So like Alley Claw playing with a beach ball, and just try and come up with a drawing based off of that on any levels of, hey, maybe they're on a beach, maybe she's balancing on it, maybe she's hiding inside of the beach ball, or maybe she's hiding from the beach ball as it hunts her through a forest. Things like that. It can be a fun way of playing around with your imagination to get some more wild ideas. Another one is doing like additive stories where you're come up with a very short phrase like, Alley Claw playing with the beach ball, and then someone else would be, Alley Claw playing with the beach ball while being chased by a T-Rex. And then you just continuously adding on to that and building up the ridiculousness level. There's, as I said before, some role playing games that work well for that type of stuff. Offhand, I think Endless Summer or something like that. There's a whole bunch, and I'm just forgetting all of their names offhand. But there's a bunch of different ones where you're just collaboratively building up stories together. That's Twilight Sparkle's secret ship fic, right? It's got the alternative mode where you have to tell a story every time. That's wonderful.
Heck yeah.
Things like that can force you to play around with your imagination inside of a sort of semi-restricted but guided environment. It's good fun. Good way to build up that.
Yeah. So look at the prompt that you're given, and stare at it and be like, I don't know what to draw for this, and then think, I don't care. I can come up with things, and they might be good, and they might be bad, and they might be whatever, and you can just use a page to like mess about and try like little stick figure ideas and see what you think about them, and then you might like it, you might want to go forward with it, or you might think, nah, it's bad, and then move on to another picture, another piece of paper, and just go through another little bit of like tiny little stick figure trying to work things out, work out ideas, and all that kind of sort of thing. Whenever I see this sort of thing described by artists, they tend to be like, oh, you should go through 3 or 4 of these to to get the interesting ideas flowing and all that sort of stuff. And, that might work for you, but it might also work just to try a couple of these or try even one, and just, it can be a good way to get to the interesting ideas on a prompt, is to go through a few different ideas to force your head to think about the weird stuff.
For me, whenever I want to really like push something and not think too hard about it, but like stretch my creativity, I try to make it as stupid as I can possibly make it. That way I don't care about it being taken seriously, because it's not supposed to be. And you can just push yourself to do some really wild and crazy things, because it's not supposed to be taken seriously. It's just like, oh, haha, look, I drew a meme. So it doesn't have to like look good. It's about conveying something rather than technically getting it down. I don't know if, because like whenever we have Aggies or we play drawing games in this group, I always find I have the most fun and I do the weirdest stuff because we're all just like have this weird prompt of like, I don't know, we drew our ponies as toilets or like space aliens with long tongues and that became something cute and
Mm.
there's just like you draw something off of a ridiculous prompt or any kind of information like that and it just the less you take it seriously the more you kind of free yourself to experiment. I don't know.
That's a good thing. A good point as well is other people, pop into an Aggie and try drawing a prompt and see where other people take it. That can be an interesting, fun, cool idea as well if you've got some people to hang out
Yeah,
and
playing
Aggie
off
with.
of
And
people.
yeah, other people are so much more creative than me. And groups of people are always more creative than like single people and all that sort of stuff. And so it's just like, hey, I get to start an Aggie, I get to draw with my friends, I get to steal their creativity and use it for my own purposes. Perfect.
It's
Done.
like the idea of creativity isn't made in a void. You get inspiration by other stuff. You can all, of course, like go off your own brain, and that's super creative as well. But like, you get your inspiration from somewhere. It doesn't come
Hmm.
from nothing.
Creativity isn't made in a void. It's
Yeah.
made in a cave with a box of scraps, and the scraps are the things that you've looked at, the things that you've seen, and the people you're around.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, seeing as we have no other arts thrown at us and no other questions posed to us, I think we'll be calling it a night. So thank you all for coming. We'll see you again next week. Bye.
Why?
Bye.